I so much agree on the Duolingo because my kids are all onto it and their scores have increased, and this is no kidding because Duolingo is so good and you can probably go and try and try it with your own families. It is fantastic app. Not that I'm promoting some app, but it's a fantastic free app which enables you to learn any language on the planet, and you can do it in a matter of few weeks, and you will be good at that. You will get rated on that, probably get certified. So it's a fantastic. So this technology, the whole way, the point that I'm trying to draw is not Duolingo, is the aspect that you can really come up with an innovative idea and solve a common man's problem or excite an existing common man who doesn't have the initiative to do something more, to do that an additional bit more, like a Facebook. You never thought you would get connected with your 20-year-old friend, right? So and so on. There are so many examples there which you probably would have taken efforts to reach out to your 20 different friends from 20-year-old past history, but here is something that enables you to do something more. So that is something that probably one can keep in perspective as you start coming up with that innovative idea of your own. So with that, I think we should just open it up for a few minutes for the questions to be coming from the floor to yourself and myself if required. So any questions? Hopefully you've solved all their innovations and questions.
You should have an alarm. Maybe people are asleep.
Hi, my name is Muninder from Manipal Global. We are into this education sector. We are building app for our business. So one of the practical problems that we are facing there is that because we are talking about education, we have lots of professors out there which I interact on daily basis. Every professor teaching methodology is different, right? And somebody says, I would like to have a discussion on my mobile app. Somebody says, I want to have a question answer form. Somebody says, I would like to have a quiz on my mobile app. So there's a lot of feature set that is coming up, right? So like you mentioned, when developer goes, he picks up best features from 10 different apps and then puts out as a user experience. I'm a lead architect. At my level, I don't know how to control this, right? A lot of features coming in. So for me, it's kind of news feed, how Facebook solved this problem of this thing. There is no forum, there is no Q&A or anything like that. It's just a river of news kind of thing. So how do we convince my stakeholders in that context? So, and being a mobile app, and to make it simple and rich user experience and all that, it has to be very simple. How do we solve that problem?
So I don't know. I'd like to add something here. As in, you rightly said, maybe you find it different professors, different teaching styles. Similarly, you find so many things to cater. So I'll tell you one thing. You cannot build a product that's for everyone. It will never happen. Yeah. All right. So this one thing we call beta testing, which is very much like we see app developers, everyone launches and writes a beta without knowing what beta is. Right. So I have seen Indian developers, they don't go for beta testing. Right. So the best thing would be if you have an app for students, you just go and give it to students, and they'll be the best judge. If you have like majority which wants quizzes rather than say discussions, so you have to go after quizzes because that's your larger market. Anyways, you cannot build an app that every student loves. You cannot do that. So beta helps us. Beta built my entire company was built on beta. Like this thing accidentally happened, Buckleberg accidentally happened. And everything after that is like what people say, and we see what masses are saying, and we build that. So I believe you should give it a try. And there are so many platforms available. You'll get around 5,000, 10,000 users for no cost. They're there, ready to use, ready to help. So this can be a better way in prioritizing what functionalities to build in first and whom to cater.
Bhargavi, Rakesh, you want to add anything?
Again, I'll divide the problem into three parts. One is the pre-production period, where you have to list down what are the features for your minimum viable MVP basically. And during a production period, what you should be doing is focus group testing with the kind of school kids that you're targeting or college people that you're targeting, and ensure that the male-female ratio is same. And during the post-production period, I thought of something and I forgot. During the post-production period, I broke down the problem into three parts.
No problem. I think you can do it offline after this.
Sure.
So, since we are running out of time, any other questions? Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Kasturi, and actually I've been a businesswoman for last 12 years. I've been exporter, and I wanted to launch an app pertaining to the logistics in India. But then what is my challenge that I do not understand that to appoint a app developer, what are the various parameters I should be looking at? As maybe I am a businesswoman, I understand that what are the challenges in logistic field, but then I don't understand that who are the better developers. So if you can give us that what are the parameters, like maybe in education or pharma or agriculture, HR, anything. The person can be a pro in their field, but then they don't understand that how to identify the right people for the app developer. So if you can lay some light on it.
We touched upon quite a few bits on that. So, any one of you want to pick that up in terms of making it, Rakesh?
I'll just repeat your question. So you want to find out ways, or you want to know ways in which you can pick your perfect app developers. That's the question. Yeah. So to answer your question, it's very simple. As in, there are a lot of portals right now with co-founder.in coming in. You can pick your best co-founder.
They all claim to be the best. They all claim to be the best in the market.
So probably what you should be doing is Google is anyways writing algorithms for you to pick to give you the top 10, right? So you should just pick out your keywords. Best developers, availability, India. So just pick your 4 keywords and put it in Google.
I would look at their credentials. So whoever are the best, shortlist them. You think that they are sizable enough, they are in your city because you want somebody to be sitting in your city to provide you the service. And then after you have shortlisted, call them and tell them who have you worked for. These are the companies that...
One thing to add, I mean, we have this problem as well. We talk to people who are not app developers or sometimes don't even use the apps they want us to develop. In that case, it's good to have a kind of mock-up app. Means you have a person with you and try to put those business ideas you have in a mock-up app. Once you know what it is you're looking for, it's probably easy to go in the app market and see who can help you with.
So Puneet, before you start, just to add on to Bhargavi, so this technique is called the Wizard of Oz technique. So making a mock-up app sort of a thing. So what happens in this Wizard of Oz technique is, let's say for example, I have one computer, Sandeep has one computer, and then we're trying to build an app that connects 2 computers. So that computer has to do something when this computer does something. So I am going to do what this computer is supposed to do. So Sandeep is going to hide under the table and press a few buttons under the table, and then that computer is going to do what this computer is going to do. And then that is how focus group comes into place, and we understand whether at least understand whether that kind of experience is being delivered or not without putting in the money to develop that kind of an application.
Puneet?
So I'd like to add to it, because the question that you asked is, I guess everyone sitting in this room wants to hire a good developer. Like everyone wants that, and it's really tough. And assuming that you're from the export background and you just want an app. So if I were in place of you not knowing anything tech, I'd just look out for an agency instead of hiring a developer. I don't want to manage everything. I just want my app to be built. So hiring an agency would be a lot easier. There'd be so many around here. You can just have a look at their portfolio and get your job done instead of building a tech team unless your business demands that. So I'd do that to get started quick.
Okay, so one last question, if yes, please.
Hello, yeah, my name is Raj. Basically, we are not into gaming. We want to start with the gaming kind of thing. We are now a company who develops lot many softwares with help of websites, ERP softwares kind of thing. And we do also develop some Android applications. Yeah. Yeah, I want basically we are into like ERP solutions. We are into attendance payroll systems. We are into like logistic development and other activities. And now we want to shift, or we want to just enhance an extra branch into gaming also. So to start with the gaming, what are the steps, being a beginner into gaming, what are the applications or softwares or tools I can use to start into this area?
So when you're entering into gaming, you just need 3 people. One is the designer, one is the developer, and one is the artist. If you're making a very small scale game,
Okay.
even a game as big as Temple Run can be made with 3 people, but the development period is going to, be large. But then coming to the tools, there are a lot of tools that are coming into place right now to develop games. But then the biggest tool that is being used around the world right now is Unity 3D for mobile, for PlayStations, for OYO, for name it the platform, and you can be building games with Unity. Sorry, you can be building games with Unity. And since Unity is an open source software, it used to be $1,500 earlier, but then right now they made it free. They have a huge community, and the kind of assets that you can get along with this platform while building your games is huge, because you might be needing a lot of small things when you're developing games. And the most important thing that you have to develop, you have to remember while developing games is the 90:10 rule, or the 9:1 rule. If, let's say, for example, you finish your game, 90% of your game in X amount of time, the remaining 10% of the game is still going to take the X amount of time. So let's say, for example, 90% of the development finishes in 3 months. The remaining 10% will happen in the next 3 months only. So you cannot expect that to happen in 15 days, because that's a polish. That is where user experience comes into place. That is where you have to test it out. That is where Google Play. So this answers your question as well. So Google Play gives you this opportunity. I don't know whether you've launched an application or a game till now, but it gives you an opportunity to beta test it. So when it comes to games, we beta test it with users from Canada and Australia. That's the place that game developers go to test out their game. Even companies as big as Supercell go and test out their games in Canada and Australia. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that is okay.
Thanks.
Okay, so I think we've really, I know there are a few more questions. Okay, one last question, the green shirt there. Okay, somebody already has the mic?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I couldn't see you. I
No
can't
problem,
see this
no
part of the...
Yeah, this is Sameer Agarwal. I'm from Gujarat, Surat. We are a textile-based group in Surat. 6 months back, had an idea about an app, so went for it, and now under development stage. I've hired a company, as she said. I'm also not a tech guy, so hired a company who is making the app. But now the question comes, it's a contact bit, a unique concept I have in my mind for which I'm developing an app. After, if I get 1 million users also, what I have studied up till now about the monetization part, after getting 1 million users also, the app business, what it suggests, it is not self-sustainable or not giving that income after having 1 million users also. Is it true? Because up till now what I have studied for monetization part, how to get revenue out of it if it's a free app, basically.
So, sir, it'll totally depend on what kind of app you're building. What it does, I have no idea. But yeah, app is not your PPF that you retire and it keeps on coming every month. It does not happen. You have to always continuously keep on working on it. So, I'd rather say if you can tell something more about your app, it'll be easier for us to tell.
It's an app which has got one feature like Contact Plus. You can replace your phone book with it. With it, it has got Truecaller kind of feature. And more than that, a unique feature is there. By seeing that, people would certainly download it. It's that kind of app. So, but the question comes only add what user engagement is there. Suppose everyday user are also using it and all is happening. But then also what ad revenues we are getting out of the app, what I have studied like up till now, that per user you can, the active users per user per annum you can have 50 rupees, I think so, as an income in average of normal ads, when you don't want to affect your app outlay, like user should not feel there's too much of advertisements in the app and all those stuff. So is it true? Because it's the things which I'm hearing from many people. So I thought just for asking.
A couple of points related to that. We have seen that some surveys have shown that first week of the use of the app shows what kind of people use it and how many people really like it. So if your app is like, it has garnered good response in the first week, normally you have a potential to increase your revenue over time. If it has come after the first week, it could mean people are trying it and then probably discarding it. So you need to check what kind of people are using it. Another thing is about also updates, because however good the app is, I think over time people want more features or some changes at least. So that you have to keep up with it. As Puneet said, it's not something which works all the time, basically.
So for your case, I am aware of an app. You can look at it. They're doing pretty well. There's a company based in Pune itself. The app is called InTouch App ID. So the app does something similar wherein you don't have to take care of your phone book. It's like Dropbox of your phone book. So even if your phone is lost, you again sign up on a new phone. It has all your contacts, right? So, and you've added Truecaller to this. So they have, they don't make money on ads. They have in-app purchases. So you can come up, because the kind of app you have, this is not something people will use on daily basis, I believe. Because it gives me more of easy sync to any devices. Or maybe if I'm onto multiple phones, then I have the same phone book synced all the time. So it'll be used maybe on connecting of new devices. So you should definitely look at this app, InTouch App ID, because and then you can also offer in-app purchases based on maybe number of contacts or maybe number of devices you add. One phone or two phone is free. If I have to have the same contacts in 3 or 4 or 5, or maybe a business angle to it, I don't know. Like, but yes, I know a similar app who's making good money. They have more than 5 million downloads, I guess. And they make money on in-app purchases, and people buy that.
So if I categorize your application, it comes under the personalization category, and I think that you can use this aspect of your application to monetize. So what you have is an emotional connect, or rather the user has an emotional connect with the contacts on their phone. So you could use this this area to monetize. You can enhance their emotions. Let's say, for example, giving a better feature than just changing their profile picture on their contact phone, adding personalized content to their this thing. So Go Launcher gives personalized wallpapers. So you could have your own personalized wallpapers. You could also have your personalized own emojis for every specific contact. So these can potentially be your in-app purchases other than just ads.
Thank you.
Okay, so with that, I think we'll call it a day, at least for this particular panel. And we do have one more question. So do we have the time, Bunny, for one more question, or the last one? So the green shirt there.
Thank you. Well, my question is for Mr. Rakesh. As you said that Unity 3D, which you, yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. So am I too short for you? Yeah. My question is something really which just makes sense for you. As you said that Unity 3D, which you're just talking about, that goes free right now. I'm actually a game developer. I have 3 games. I have more than 7.5 million users in my game store. Actually, that's not my game. Actually, that's my client game I have developed for one of my clients. And that was built in Unity 3D. and that was very time consuming. However, we didn't break down the running cost for that client. Now that client wanted to get shifted from Unity 3D to, I'm sure you know this engine name called Coco 2DX. So do you think the engine would support me to convert the coding from Unity to Coco 2DX, and the time frame which you, means I don't know if ever you have tried Coco 2DX?
So, is that it, or do you have an extended question?
Sorry, yeah. Well, so far you can say I have 2 more questions for you.
Yeah, sure. So, have you played the game called Shiva?
Definitely no.
Developed by Tiny Muggle Games.
Have you heard about the game called Dragon Wars? Dragon Wars? Developed by me. Definitely not.
No. So since with whatever experience I have with Coco Studio, that comes only in relation with Shiva. So when one of my friend was building Shiva, they used Coco Studio X, and Coco Studio X could not support the kind of animations that were required in the game. So what they did 6 months post into Coco Studio was shift the code into Unity 3D. So I know the shift can happen from Coco Studio X to Unity 3D, but I do not know if it happens from Unity 3D to Coco Studio X.
So when you want to just suggest me, so do you suggest me, should I stick to the Unity 3D, or do you...
No, stick to Unity 3D.
Because now it's been free, so that's the reason I've been asking.
No, stick.
Stick.
Yeah.
Okay, and just for one more question, the friend which was asking from the Surat part, or Gujarat part, I'm so sorry for that, I don't remember his location. Yeah. As an investor point of view, definitely he is concerned more about the money-making interest. So when we say monetization, when it comes to a monetization, how it does supposed to help? Because the time we started Android industry, it was a very fresh and new in 2012 or 13. I started Android, and I used to hit every day from my mobile itself, and I used to get paid for that. So I used to make money through that. So nowadays, Google has started categorizing these kind of IP protection and a lot of things. So monetization has become a little bit more tougher and tougher every day by day. So do you suggest any other alternative where we can make money out of it?
I do not.
I mean, there are not many avenues to really monetize, but
yeah, there are a lot of ways that you can monetize your game, but I do not have a ready solution for it. We could probably have a chat later on.
Definitely, indeed, look for that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Don't make it free. Don't keep it free.
No, definitely. I don't believe things in free, because once it is free, random people, rather than use it, and they start implementing our ideas with their more add-ons. So I don't keep it free. There is a rule of everything. There are no free lunches. So you have to give something or the other.
Like the best way to make money is to sell things. So
but selling is not the also concept every time, because selling, when it comes to selling, definitely some users, some interesting people or some investors, they don't really wanted to come because they wanted to do something for social networking also for the society, doing something for free, just to give something free. Just like in Mark Zuckerberg, he did for free. But at the end of the day, it wasn't just a psycho-intellectual path where he indirectly started making money out of it. So money making is always an indirectly, never been directly. So something I would say free is kind of open for you, yeah, I can say. But don't know exactly. I should keep it free or I should keep it chargeable.
India is a very competitive market, very, very price-sensitive market. So whether to keep it free or to find another way to make your own money that you would have otherwise made by charging that customer is something that you should think about, because, and that's somewhere, some of the consultants will really come into picture. India, absolutely, if you look at even free basics, right, which Facebook was, propagating for, or Google is now spread over. So Rakesh mentioned earlier that if you give a phone to, an iPhone to an old man versus an Android phone to an old man, probably iPhone is much more easily adopted. But in India, unfortunately, Android is so well penetrated, and probably 90% plus. So it is very difficult for the iPhone to ever to make it to the common man. So there are perspectives on that, I know.
So you're talking in terms of cost, but I'm saying that if ever if ever an iPhone was affordable and put in the hand, an iPhone is way better.
I totally agree on that.
But I want to say, but as a point of view, from my perception, if the crowd is going for the Android, why would people go for iPhone? Actually, iPhone sucks, very frankly. but why to go for iPhone? Just to maintain our standards, which
No.
is still in India. India has a very conceptual brain concept. Carrying iPhone, having a download pksongs.com, they don't even download these songs from the iPhone stores.
No, I mean, like, I don't understand this.
I come across with a lot of corporates every day. They have a phones, but when I say some
it's only for your monetization. Monetization
yeah.
is way better on an iPhone when you make an application for an iPhone versus when you make it for an Android.
But if, let's say, what about my product is more concentrating on Indian market?
Okay.
But Indian market is more carrying Android. What should I do then?
So basically, the users are divided into three segments: the whales, dolphins, and minions. So the whales pay, dolphins pay, the minions don't pay. You're making an application for the minions. You're looking out for users. You're making an application for the whales and the dolphins. You're looking out for money. It's very straightforward.
Okay.
I think this debate is very much alive. It is not dead. And I will tell you that in more conferences that I go in, everywhere this debate is already on.
This is really interesting, by the way.
But I think we will have to, there is a time limit and we will have to cut it out. Thanks for actually joining in and sharing those thoughts. We do have, and maybe you can chat with him offline so that he is getting his share of the pie on the answers. With that, thank you. I think this has been a good conversation. Thanks to the panelists here, and thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. May I request you to please settle down for another 2 minutes? No more questions for you. No more questions. I'm sure the session is getting interesting, guys. Are your other doubts getting cleared? Yeah, it seems very interesting to me as well now, the more I'm getting to know about the information. Okay, before we move on, we will just have a small token of appreciation given to each panelist. May I request Mr. Ladha to please present a small momentum and a gift which is sponsored by Zozo to each panelist. Thank you so much. Now, may I please request Bunny Sidhu, Director Projects, Bright Exhibitions, to present a small token of appreciation to Mr. Ladha. Can we please have a round of applause? Thank you, Mr. Ladha. Thank you, all panelists. May I now request Mr. Vikas Sharma to present the keynote address. Mr. Vikas Sharma, CRO, Indus OS, to please come up on stage. Just a small intro about Mr. Vikas Sharma. Vikas Sharma, Chief Revenue Officer, Indus OS. Vikas Sharma possesses over 18 years of work experience in telecom, media, and IT organizations, encompassing P&L management, business operations, strategic planning, product management, and solution sales, responsibilities for global service providers and large enterprise. Presently, he is working at Indus Labs as a CRO, managing device and app monetization. He has worked at telecom operators like Bharti Airtel, Reliance Communications, Tata, and IT companies like Microsoft, Aricent across Europe and Asia, majority of which are in India. Please, sir. Can we have a round of applause for Mr. Vikas?
Good morning, everyone. Audible enough? Perfect. What I have for you as a company